taking a break to introduce Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. She is, I am so proud to say this, the first South American-born Congresswoman. That is born in Ecuador and elected to Congress this past term. She has championed the cause for Venezuela, not only TPS and not only on the congressional side, but also in her community in South Florida, which, as we know, is where it's the Venezuela, little Venezuela of the U.S. So, Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, good afternoon. I am so excited to see so many South Americans, right? This never happens to me in Washington, D.C. This is why I'm here. We need to bring more South Americans to Washington. But no, the cause of Venezuela has been a cause that has been so close to my heart for so many reasons. I have family members that are still in Venezuela from my father's side, and a lot of them actually have already moved to the United States. I've been to Venezuela many times, and not only is Venezuela one of those countries that Ecuadorians would look up to because of its commerce and its democracy and its democratic institutions back in the 90s, but also because of its people and its culture. And I feel as Venezuelan, especially here in the United States, we are all one. Whether you're Colombian, Ecuadorian, Venezuelan, we're all one, and we're all fighting for the right to freedom. We're all fighting for democracy. And so you have me here in Washington being your voice. I just want to make sure that you know that I have each and every one of you in my heart, in my mind, when I'm fighting for Venezuela libre para poder sacar a Maduro del régimen de Venezuela y reconstruir este país. The crisis in Venezuela has reached new lows, and even though Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the Western Hemisphere, it is now one of the countries that has the worst humanitarian crisis now in the region. And they got there, we know very well, because of the corruption that exists in the country and the most brutal violations of human rights, all led by Nicolás Maduro and his administration. His actions have created a hyperinflationary economy, shortages of food and medicine, brought national production to a halt, and created an unsustainable humanitarian emergency in the region. Venezuelans need our help. Right now, more than 7 million Venezuelans require some sort of immediate assistance. 1 in 3 Venezuelan children between 3 and 5 years old are out of the school system. Millions are going hungry, and many more are also going without the proper medical care. This is all happening under an infrastructure system that is failing, making power blackouts and lack of access to water a common occurrence in Venezuela. It is time for Maduro to leave and make way for a democratic transitioning government and free elections. These extraordinary conditions have prevented the safe return of Venezuelans to their homeland country, and has caused almost 5 million Venezuelans to cross their own border looking for a better life. We have to offer our help and our assistance to the Venezuelan families currently here living in the United States. We have to suspend deportations back to Venezuela while we see this crisis worsening. Earlier this year, I, along with many of my colleagues, sent a letter to the Department of Homeland Security expressing our deep concern for the situation in Venezuela, urging the Trump administration to give a TPS designation for Venezuelans currently residing in the United States, because we have a duty to protect them until they can safely return home. Unfortunately, the administration has yet to act. So, in July, the House of Representatives passed a bill to address the migration of Venezuelans by permitting them to qualify for temporary protected status, preventing the removal from the U.S. and allowing them to obtain employment and travel authorization. The bill has been sent to the Senate, and even though it has the potential to provide relief to thousands of Venezuelans that are living right here in the United States, the Senate has yet to take up the measure and act to protect the Venezuelan people. The only way to help Venezuela get out of this crisis is by coming together. Republicans and Democrats, including the president, have an important role to play. We have to continue to support the government of interim President Juan Guaido and accelerate international pressure on Maduro's regime to speed up his exit from the global stage. Now, I'm going to say one last comment. I think it's also incredibly important now for us in the United States, in the House, in the Senate, and by the administration, to sanction Russia's interference of democratic institutions and freedoms in Venezuela as well. It is clear that Russia is a bad actor. It is clear that Russia has infiltrated, as long as Cuban officials have infiltrated the country, and we are not going to be able to reach freedom without putting that diplomatic pressure on Russia and on Cuba. So we are committed to fighting for all of you. Venezuela Libre means much more than just Venezuela Libre. It means Latinoamérica Libre and democracy in the Western Hemisphere.
Quick photo break.
And I'm sorry to interrupt the panel. You guys.
There we go. Okay, perfect. All right. So 1, 2, 3, cheese. Great. Good. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure.
One more round of applause for Congresswoman Mucarsel-Powell.
Gracias, estoy cansada.
Muchísimas gracias por la
With this new diverse Congress, we really saw the difference it makes for issues of Latin America, ¿no? Si no fuera por campeonas como David Mucarsel-Powell, como los congresistas en el sur de la Florida, hasta nuestros propios senadores en Florida, latinos, tenemos el apoyo en el Congreso. So thank you again for your remarks. Apologies for that break, but I thought that was a really good segue into from what you were explaining from the regional context to what happens in the U.S. now. So Hector, I'm going to bring you in here to talk about, this is where the information, you write it down and you share it with all of your groups in your respective cities. So Hector, with all the data that Andrew shared and the over 300,000 Venezuelans applying for asylum here in the U.S., as a lawyer who handles all these immigration cases, y casos de venezolanos específicamente, what are our options here? What do you see as the legal challenges that our community faces, and what legal advice do you give to this group?
Thank you very much for the invitation. Hello? Oh. Thank you so much for the invitation, and it's a real pleasure to see faces from different parts of the country that are concerned about the situation in Venezuela and concerned about seeking solutions for the people, for our compatriotas, the people that have left Venezuela seeking opportunities, trying to protect their children, trying to avoid persecution. That's the reality of many of those that have left, millions already. So, as any person that leaves the country, and that many have been persecuted, many fear torture, many actually are escaping detention, and the legal system in Venezuela has failed to protect them. I believe that they are prima facie eligible for asylum. They can show that they have the elements to prove that they qualify for asylum. Asylum is a tricky benefit that is supposed to be very simple, because it's offered to those that are in need, desperate, and that they don't have the means, the financial means usually, to protect their rights and to actually bring a